Hello. Okay, so we're back. We want to look. Just want to say a few things about Chapter 1. Chapter 1 is introducing us to what is anthropology. And it's kind of a short chapter. It just gives a brief overview of the definition of anthropology and then looks at, importantly, the four subfields in anthropology. And so I really want you to get a grasp of, since we're not going to be studying, for example, archaeology. We're not going to be focused on sociolinguistics, the study of language. We're not going to be focused on biological anthropology, or the same thing, physical anthropology. In this first chapter, it gives us a chance to introduce at least those the other three subfields. The one that we're focused on is what's called as sociocultural anthropology, or just plain cultural anthropology, the study of living cultures. I like to emphasize that in my intro to cultural anthropology, I love, and since cultural anthropology in general, and anthropology in general, is a cross-culturally comparative science, in studying cultural anthropology, I really try to be as comparative as possible, even to the point where, as you'll notice in your reader in some of my examples, I love comparing the more traditional societies to our own culture, our own modern or postmodern culture, because there's always been this sort of, if you will, sort of stereotype that, in the rest of the world has culture, and we in the first world, that is, in the modern or postmodern industrialized countries like the United States, we have psychology. So everybody outside the first world have culture, and we have psychology. We're individuals. We're not. We're beyond culture. We're not creatures of culture. We're individually rational thinking beings, whereas people from so-called primitive societies they get their sense of life from their culture. Extremely ethnocentric, as we'll see in our next chapter in terms of that term. But in actuality, culture is we're all cultural creatures. And so I like doing this cross-cultural comparison between traditional societies and our modern, postmodern culture to show, taking cultural anthropological concepts and aiming at our own time period, our own society, and showing that we're just as much products of our culture as anyone else is. And so you'll notice that in our approach and in the reader that they have also have modern examples of anthropological research that focuses on our own. For example, I'm really interested in looking at the whole thing of magic and ritual in societies, and looking at the game of baseball, for example. So I think you'll find this to be very informative. I like for students to be able to apply these concepts to their own life. There you go.